welcome back to Pixie Dust and Paperbacks. So this video I'm going to be talking about my February TBR. So I did it a bit differently. Obviously February is the month of love because of Valentine's Day, but it actually is also the month of mine and my partner's anniversary. So we have our anniversary on the 7th, and then obviously a week later it's Valentine's Day. So I decided to have her pick my TBR for February for physical books. There is a book that I threw in for my physical TBR because I read the first book. It's a series in January, and I decided I want to continue on reading it because I was really hooked into the story. But it's in no particular order. I'm gonna do, hopefully when I grab them, I'm gonna grab them blindly. I grab her picks first. And we'll kind of go from there. So she went and perused all my shelves. I have bookshelves kind of sporadically placed around the living room. I think I have 6 behind me. There's 1 big one and 2 small ones to the side of me here. And then I have like an overflow, like little cubby shelves just behind the camera. So she went and she picked out 4 books for me. She actually didn't take as long as I thought she was going to. And a lot of them, not a lot, I should probably take that back. I do have probably about half the books I own are probably unread. So I'm trying to get through physical TBR, and this is the best way to do it. And I just thought I'd make it fun for, you know, February, Valentine's Day. So the first book is Mexican Gothic. I believe she got this for me for Christmas or Hanukkah 2 years ago. So those who don't know, my partner is Jewish and I'm not, and we celebrate both holidays in our household. So I'm Hispanic, which is why she got me this book, because I wanted more books by Hispanic authors or authors having to do with Mexico or Mexican culture, because I am Mexican. And she decided on Mexican Gothic because I do like horrors. So I'm just going to read the back of the book for the synopsis for those of you who may not know what this book is. Glamorous socialite Naomi Taboda's life of parties and entertainment is interrupted when she receives a frantic letter from her newlywed cousin who is begging her to be rescued from a mysterious doom. Naomi immediately heads to High Place, an estate in the mountains of Mexico owned by the secluded Doyle family, determined to discover what is troubling her beloved cousin. The fortunes of silver mining Doyles have eroded, and their house is a dilapidated relic. Even more worrisome, inhabitants of High Place, there's an alluring yet menacing new husband, his foreboding father, and other taciturn relatives. Soon the house itself begins invading Naomi's dreams with visions of blood and doom. She must tread carefully, for there are many secrets behind the walls of High Place, and Naomi may soon find it impossible to leave this enigmatic house behind. So I'm really interested. Obviously Mexican horror stories or something, or I should say ghost stories, were something I kind of grew up with a little bit, because I grew up with my second generation cousins. So my first generation cousins were a lot older than me. So often they told us like the story of La Llorona, the Cucuy, the Chupacabra, all those sorts of folklore tales to scare the life out of us kids. So that is one I will be reading this month. The next book is Fourth Wing. So she picked this one because she finally wants me to read it. I've had it on my shelf, I think maybe a year, maybe 2 years. I actually won this in a giveaway on Bookstagram. It's the signed copy. She really wants to know what I think about it because she's also an avid watcher of BookTube, and she thinks the premise is kind of funny. And she's jokingly said that if I actually do enjoy the book that she's gonna make fun of me for it, but I know she's just teasing. So it's friends, enemies, lovers, everyone has an agenda. Violet expected to live a quiet life surrounded by books until she's forced onto the world's deadliest training ground. Now she must fight to join the army's elite dragon riders. But dragons don't choose fragile riders. they incinerate them. And when your body breaks as easily as violence does, death is only a heartbeat away. So there's more, but I won't continue on because I don't want this video to drag. But we'll see what I think about this one. It's a little bit thick, and that's why it's sat on my shelf, because I'm a girl that has thick book syndrome. I will get a book and I'll be like, oh, yeah, sounds great, let's add it to the TBR, and then I'm just like, it's like, I don't know, 700 pages plus. I don't feel like reading that. Even like 550 pages plus, I'm just like, I think Harry Potter is probably the only books where I kind of like devoured it and sat and read consistently and didn't like put it away for being a big book. Now, the next book, she actually, these were her books. This series was her book. But she gave them to me because after the most recent one came out, she just kind of got a bit tired of the book series, because she said it's like the author's just regurgitating each book over and over and over and over and over again. I've never read it, but I've heard a lot about it. So it's Before the Coffee Gets Cold. So she chose this one as well. And the synopsis says, if you could go back, who would you want to meet? In a small back alley in Tokyo, there is a cafe which has been serving carefully brewed coffee for more than 100 years. But this coffee shop offers its customers a unique experience, the chance to travel back in time. In Before the Coffee Gets Cold, we meet 4 visitors, each of whom are hoping to make sure the cafe's time-traveling offer in order to confront the lover who left them, receive a letter from their husband whose memory has begun to fade, see their sister one last time, and meet the daughter they never got a chance to know. But the journey into the past does not come without risks. Customers must sit in a particular seat. They cannot leave the cafe, and finally, they must return to the present before the coffee gets cold. Kawaguchi's beautiful, moving story explores the age-old question, what would you change if you could travel back in time? Now, I'm an extremely emotional reader. Everything makes me cry. So we'll see how I go with this. Like, even just reading the synopsis, I felt like I was gonna get a bit teary-eyed, and I was like, please don't cry on camera. I either want to annotate Before the Coffee Gets Cold or Mexican Gothic, whichever book I decide, I'm going to turn it into a reading vlog. I probably will pick this one because it's a bit smaller. So I may potentially be crying on camera. So if I do, if this is one that fits the bill, please don't laugh. That's all I ask. Thank you. Lastly, the book that she chose for me is one I think I got for her, but it's living on my shelf because it fits my genres a bit better. Second book to this gifted to me, which is why she told me to put it on my shelf as well. But it is Divine Rivals. I've heard a lot about this. I want to love it. Based on everything that I've heard, I really want to love it. So we will see if I do or not. So let me open it so I can actually read the synopsis to you. When 2 young rival journalists find love through a magical connection, they must face the depths of hell in a war between gods to seal their fate forever. So just that little bit there has me hooked. I'm not a big, contrary to what you may believe, I'm not a big romance on the front line of a story, but if it's a subplot, I can get behind it 100%. After centuries of sleep, the gods are warring again, but 18-year-old Iris just wants to hold her family together. Her mother is suffering from addiction, and her brother is missing from the front lines. Her best bet is to win the columnist promotion in the Oath Gazette. To combat her worry, Iris writes letters to her brother and slips them beneath her door, where they vanish, and into the hands of Roman, her cold and handsome rival at the paper. When he anonymously writes Iris back, the two of them forge a connection that will follow Iris all the way to the front lines of battle for her brother, the fate of mankind, and love. Divine Rivals is an epic enemies to lovers fantasy novel filled with hope and heartbreak and unparalleled power of love. So, if we're talking tropes, I do like an enemies to lovers trope if it's a side plot. I also like friends to lovers trope if it's just a side plot. Love triangle as well. I'm the typical, I grew up in the 2000s, like went to high school during the 2000s, and because a lot of the times, a lot of YA books are the love triangle trope. So that is one that I enjoy. And a lot of them are also enemies to lovers, which is probably why I also like that trope. So that was it for the books that she chose. Now, I did add one more book to my physical TBR, and that is The Hawthorne Legacy. So I read the Inheritance Games last month, and I really liked it. So far I've liked all of her books that I've read. They've been fairly good, and I really like puzzles, mysteries, riddles, thrillers. Like, it's not even a thriller really, it's just like puzzles and mysteries and all that, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So that is one that I decided to add. So for my physical TBR, and then I do have some books on my Libby and BorrowBox account. Now, if I get to these, that's a plus. I don't know if I'm going to get to them. I have The Awakening, the first book in the Vampire Diaries series. So I actually own the series in paperback. I'm probably gonna annotate it. And I like to immersive read, so I like to listen to the audiobook while I'm reading the book, especially when I'm annotating, because for me, I can sit there and annotate. I can doodle, I can highlight, I can do whatever in the book while on like one section while I'm still like listening and going along. And then if I get to another part, I kind of just like flip forward really quickly and I'll like tab it, and then I'll go back to whatever I was working on. But usually I don't last very long on my annotating. It's just small doodles, notes, highlighting, underlines, whatever. Sometimes I do draw on the book like artwork, but I do that after I've done reading it. So we have that on Libby, BorrowBox. Shiny Happy People. So I'll read you what that's about. So it's a twisted and thrilling sci-fi horror novel that shines a light on the terror of the U.S. opioid epidemic. I'm trying to get into sci-fi, which is why I picked this book. So we'll see how that goes. But it says, at 16, Kira is still haunted by the horrors she saw growing up with her drug-addicted mother. She doesn't feel like she belongs anywhere, and disturbing dreams come to her at night. When a new party drug makes its way to her high school, Kira's life becomes an actual nightmare. A video challenge spreads among the students, and though she doesn't participate, Kira can't escape its inexplicable side effects. Everyone around her seems to be mysteriously changing, including the people she loves the most. Her brother has a new personality overnight. Her best friend suddenly feels like a stranger. The only person who seems to notice the eerie is Logan, the new boy at school. Like Kira, he has steered clear of the party scene. When the stranger begins to feel sinister or unnatural, Kira is determined to find out exactly what is behind the mysterious drug. As she and Logan get closer to the truth, the lines between Kira's past and present blurs, and she will need to face the terrors inside herself or lose everyone she loves. And to me, that sounds like something that's right up my alley, so hopefully that one's a good one. The next one, so this one I've had on hold for a while, and I don't know if I'm gonna get it in February. Um, but it's Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson. I absolutely love Holly Jackson's books. You can see them in the corner here in my little YA thriller section. But this is what the book premises. In 7 days, Jet Mason will be dead. Jet is the daughter of one of the wealthiest families in Woodstock, Vermont. 27 years old, she's still waiting for her life to begin. She'll do it later, she always says. She has time. Ooh, the amount of times I've said that and time just kind of has slipped away. And I'm like, whoa, I probably should have done XYZ things when I was this age. Still on the night of Halloween, Jet is violently attacked by an unseen intruder. She suffers a catastrophic brain injury. The doctor is certain that within a week she'll suffer a deadly aneurysm. Jet never thought of herself as having enemies, but now she looks at everyone in a new light. Her family, her ex-best friend turned sister-in-law, her former boyfriend. She only has 7 days and her condition deteriorates. She has only her childhood friend Billy for help. But nevertheless, she absolutely determined to finish something. Jet is going to solve her own murder. And those of you who know who Holly Jackson is, you already know she does thrillers pretty well. Murder mysteries, all that. She's like the YA version of Agatha Christie for me. Another thriller murder mystery writer that I enjoy. So hopefully we will get that one. These two books, I don't know if I'm gonna get to them, but we'll see. They just came through on my Libby. It's Lessons in Power by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I actually managed to squeeze in the first book in the Fixer series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes on audiobook in January. I didn't think I was gonna get it because, as you know, Libby, BorrowBox, and those sorts of things, you kind of just have to wait in the queue. And sometimes people just, I've been guilty of this, of rechecking out, like renewing the checkout. I know there is a max amount of times you can renew the checkout. So sometimes I'm waiting a few months for a book. And then also it just depends on how many people are in the line ahead of you. So about Lessons in Power. Knowledge is power, but secrets can kill. For Tess Kendrick, a student at the elite Hardwick School, making problems disappear runs in the family. But Tess has another legacy too, one that involves power and the making of political dynasties. Then Tess is asked to run a classmates' campaign for student council. She agrees. But when the candidates are the children of Washington, D.C. elite, even a high school election can have life-shattering consequences. What starts out as a friendly competition soon turns into a deadly struggle for control. Tess knows better than most that power is currency, but she's about to discover firsthand that power always comes with a price, and no one can be trusted. So I really love thrillers and mysteries, especially when there's like a power dynamic, like good versus evil, the underdog versus, the big guys. Like, I love that sort of thing. So that's a hopeful for me. And the last one that hopefully I will be getting to, I am next in queue for it, so we'll see. Gladiator Goddess says, what is your Roman Empire? A sapphic feminist romantasy set in the age of ancient Rome. So we will see if I like it or not. Like I said, romantasy is fine as long as romance is a subplot. Sapphic, great. Gay, love it. Okay. It says, the Roman goddesses have grown very weary of the rule of gods and men. They seek to change the fortune of the world by backing a brilliant young woman. In Pompeii, Gia dreams of being a female gladiator, but there is no such thing. When she wins the favor of Claudia, the beautiful daughter of the emperor, her stars begins to rise in the arena, but so does the risk to her life. Together, the girls must battle conspiracies to overthrow the empire and their growing feelings for one another, feelings the goddesses had not planned on. A scintillating and enchanting new series, perfect for fans of powerless lore in Crescent City. I own all 3 of those books. Have I read them yet? No. But we'll see. If I like this, then maybe I'll pick this up in March. Who knows? That's my February TBR. I have my hopefuls in the audiobooks because I don't know when I'm gonna get them. Everyone knows, like I said, how Libby and BorrowBox work. I will be getting through hopefully my physical TBR as well. I will be doing a reading vlog slash annotation vlog because it'll be the same thing for when the coffee gets cold. I'm pretty sure I'm going to choose that one because it is shorter and it's cozy, and I don't know, just the thought of like a cup of tea or a hot chocolate, a comfy fluffy blanket, and my PJs, even though I'm on camera, sounds great. So it'll be that one. But let me know if you've read any down below and what you thought of them. Do you think I picked up any 5-star reads in that group? If so, which ones do you think I'm gonna rate 5 stars? And thank you for watching the video, and until next time, I'll see you in the next one where there'll be a lot more books, a little bit of mischief, and lots of pixie dust. Bye!